Welcome to Quality of Life Matters, the official podcast of the International Society for Quality of Life Studies, your front row seat to the global well-being conversation. Join hosts Roger Fernandez-Urbano and Anat Fanti as they explore cutting-edge research and inspiring ideas that are shaping happiness, well-being, and quality of life worldwide.
So, Professor Layard, thank you very much for coming to the
My pleasure.
podcast. And we have today some general questions that we would like to ask you. And the first one is, what has been your most interesting finding after all these decades researching happiness? What has been your most intriguing finding that you can think?
Well, I suppose the importance of mental health, because I think there's been a strong tendency, materialistic tendency, if you like, to think of people's well-being as very much dependent on their external physical circumstances. And so many problems that people have are coming from inside themselves, of course, partly in response to things that have happened from the outside. So, one, that mental health is important, but two, that mental health is treatable. So I've been very much involved over the last 20 years in developing a mass service for treatment of anxiety disorders and depression, which is such a major source of low well-being.
Fantastic. Which advice will you give to people that is listening or hearing us now? Which advice will you give in order to improve their well-being?
Well, I think the key issue is what you think is your purpose of your life, isn't it? And I would say the purpose of your life is to create as much happiness as you can in the world of other people as well as yourself. And indeed, to get, if we're looking at what we want, which is a happy society, obviously we want people to be getting as much of their happiness as possible from creating happiness for other people. So this is the, if I can wave,
Action for Happiness.
This is Action for Happiness. This is the pledge which members of Action for Happiness make, is that they will try and in their lives create as much happiness in the world as they can and as little unhappiness.
Fantastic. From a public policy perspective, how we can convince politicians to make this change of paradigm from GDP to well-being?
Well, I think the main thing which will persuade them is the fact that to get re-elected, it's more important to improve people's overall well-being than to improve the state of the economy. And that's just one of the many inputs into overall well-being. And we now have overpowering evidence for, say, national elections in different European countries since the 1970s. But life expectation, the answers to that simple question, how satisfied are you with your life, this is a better predictor of whether the government gets re-elected than all the facts that we have about the economy.
Which brings me to another question. You are critical of the multidimensional approach to well-being measurement. Could you explain why a simpler unified measure is not only more effective but also more impactful in shaping policy?
Well, if you want to make policy, you have to select between policy options.
Yeah.
And you need to compare them against some criterion, choose the policy which is the most cost-effective against that criterion. But if there are many different criteria, you can't choose between policies because one policy is good on one criterion, another policy is good on another criterion. So you can't, there's really no concept of rational government without some overarching objective against which all policy options are being considered.
You have also emphasized the importance of clear messaging, like the work of Action for Happiness. How can academics and advocates better communicate well-being research to the public in a way that inspires action?
Well, I mean, this is a very long and well-established idea. We're talking about it.
Yes.
Been there for 3 centuries, and it's always been at the back of people's minds that what we want is a happy society where people are enjoying their lives. But I think that what has been lacking until recently is a sense of what are the most important factors and how can we help people to experience more satisfying and happy lives. That has been changed by the new science of happiness and well-being that's developed over the last 40 years and is practiced so much in ISQOLS. That is the great strength of this great society. And I think that is what gives us hope that we can have a breakthrough, and that this idea, rather than just being a sort of bland idea, can become a sharp idea. It's really important that those of us who share the same general point of view, we can converge on a single idea of the goal. What is the goal that we are wanting to promote? And then we can all study, where we are bound to have differences, the multiple causes that are influencing this goal and what are the best ways of promoting the goal. But I don't think we'll make the impact that we should be unless we agree on what is the goal, so that we get a mass of information about it, and we can also communicate simply with politicians and with individuals about what the goal is. So I think that the goal, going right back to the 18th century, of a society in which people are as happy and fulfilled and satisfied as possible. We just agree that's a single goal. It's about the thing which matters is how people feel about their lives. We can measure that by how they answer a question on life satisfaction. And then we must have a huge research program on what is determining this goal. How can we push it forward? We can create a field which is united by a common goal. So, like, think of new fields, geography. What unites geography? The idea that everything must be looked at in terms of space.
Yes.
Science of well-being, what unites it? It would only be united if it was united around a single outcome, which it was trying to explain.
Do you think that this has the power to convince people, especially nowadays that every time we are more polarized with the wars now in Gaza, in Ukraine? How do you think that in this context we can convince people?
Well, I think that there are a lot of negative forces at work in the world, and they are based on bad values. So, the idea that your nation has to be best, this is obviously not an idea that's very consistent with the idea that we want a happy world in which, obviously, to promote a happy world, there has to be a high level of cooperation. So I think it's a very powerful idea, and it may not be an easy time to promote it, but you should promote it whether it's easy or not.
Does the future of well-being research look bright?
I think the future of well-being research is very bright because we've got two things going for us. One is we actually have much more sophisticated statistical tools than we used to have, but even more important, we have a mass of data. So data science is going to drive this and make it totally practical.